We're live. Manchester United versus Tottenham.
Fight back, but they start with a 3 again today. Guillermo Vicario continues in goal. Christian Romero starts, having gone off at half-time against City because of illness. Nicky van der Ven's back alongside him after injury to replace Radu Dragashin. Archie Gray continues at right wing-back. Hamsar's preferred to Ibasuma in central midfield. Wilson Olivez feeling 100% after his bout of illness. He comes in for Randall Colomuani. Dom Solanke leads the line, fresh from his 2 goals last week. And 17-year-old defender Luca Williams-Bennett is added to the bench. The strangest doubles you can wish to see. Dom Solanke made no contact with the ball for his first goal against City, an inspirational contact for his second. That brilliant flick with his trailing leg underlined his importance to a team who struggled in his absence for goals from their centre forward. He's now scored 4 in 4. Took Ruben League wins as United boss. Michael Carrick's wait a mere 12 days. The 2 managers involved today, Carrick has the monopoly on the feel-good factor, but only 2 bosses have seen their side take more points on the road this season than Thomas Frank, who strives to end his longest winless league run as Spurs manager. Michael Oliver takes charge. In which Spurs have recently held the upper hand, be it here in London or Bilbao. But their paths have diverged since that European final. A trend United are desperate to continue today. When these 2 men in November, it was a game laced with late drama, a wild ride of emotions for both, with goals traded in stoppage time. A game that mirrored the highs and lows of their respective seasons. As they face off again, it's United on the upward curve. Spurs hoping to replicate last week's stunning fight back, bring an end to their own downward momentum.
Yeah, Michael Carrick has added flair and fire to this team.
Lovely little layoff from Ahmad has got Fernandes making his way forward here. It's Brian Mbeumo, sight of goal inside 35 seconds.
I keep saying it. I said it at the start of the season when they played Arsenal here and lost 1-0, yes, but there was an improvement in the danger Manchester United were adding to their team, and it's through the likes of Cunha and Fernandes and Mbeumo, and yeah, couldn't quite keep that one down, but it's the right intent you want to see, and these fans are loving it.
Well, he's been in great form since coming back from AFCON. He started every game, scored in each of the wins against City and Arsenal. Also netted 5 goals in his last 5 league matches against Spurs, 4 of those playing for Thomas Frank, who will know his strengths and weaknesses like few other opposition managers.
Yeah, and Mbeumo is playing from the left-hand side, Jim. We've seen him play through the middle, but at the moment, Cunha is occupying the centre-forward spot.
Spurs fans just reminded their United counterparts of the result in Bilbao back in May, claiming that they're champions of Europe. Interesting, the Spurs are playing with a back 3 again today. It's something that they were forced to abandon last week when Romero called in sick at half-time. Ben's return to the side as needed a slightly more familiar looking back 3 for the visitors here. Well, Recent form plays a major part in United's superiority in the win probability. They're still seen as being just as likely to fail to win today as to take all 3 points. Spurs given a 1 in 4 chance of their first win since late December.
I think, to be honest with you, I think Tottenham are playing a back four today. Palhinha seems to have moved into midfield with Sarr, and we're seeing Gallagher just a little more advanced in his position. So yeah, there's been another tweak from that man.
With the personnel that he has involved today, it is easy for Spurs to gravitate between a 3 and a 4 as the game goes on, and Palhinha just has to drop that a little bit deeper. Information was that they would be setting up with a back 3 today. Getting it forward, Solanke giving chase. So Lamon's clearance not the best. A free kick is given against Luke Shaw. Gallagher's first touch just stopped him getting a shot in on the empty goal.
Yeah, I mean that's, I don't know why he isn't just basically lofting that into the sky. And yeah, he's just slightly late. He's been caught on his foot. Gallagher. He'll hope that's his last mistake today. Lemons.
One that has been unpunished. Spurs have 5 forward on the edge of the United penalty area, 6 now in readiness to face this Xavi Simons free kick. Romero, as you can see, of the actual 3 at the far post, completely unmarked as the ball drifts in his general direction.
You beat me to it, Jim. I'm looking, thinking that's dangerous to let him sneak around the back. United are going to have to get an eye on that if they get a similar situation again, Tottenham.
Question for Spurs fans today is which side of their side will they see? A performance like the first half last week would surely see another defeat if they can replicate their second half display. They give themselves a fighting chance, standing with United's impressive form. Great awareness of who was where. They are playing with newfound freedom, Manchester United.
Yeah, freedom of expression.
Mainu. So eventually won it back. We were able to still steer the ball in Fernandes' direction. Here's Burma. Casemiro.
Well, they've enjoyed the Northwest this season, Tottenham. Winning at Manchester City 2-0, Everton 3-0.
To reserve their better performances for the road. It's been well documented just how stark the difference between their performances in North London and elsewhere have been. 5 of their 7 league wins coming away from home. Now here's Sarr. Solanke making the run ahead of him. Martinez following him every step of the way. Simons offering support. Spurs player just unable to combine effectively. Potential problem for Ahmad, incidentally. That's just a byproduct of that last challenge on him. Martinez. pressure from Joao Palhinha. Wilson Burmo. Read by Romero, but he caught his man.
We just got a little shot on ref cam of Bruno Fernandes having a little moan to Michael Oliver. That's unlike him, isn't it?
Wonderful shots that we get from ref cam. You fully appreciate just how much back chat there is over the course of a game to the referee.
Referees are worked on all of the time in the hope that, later in the game you might just get a decision your way.
It's always been thus. Vicario for Gray. Talk about the improvement in Spurs away form this season. Taking nearly 2/3 of their points on the road. That away form has actually dropped off pretty markedly recently. They've only had one win in their last 7 on their travels, which was the festive victory over Crystal Palace. United, on the other hand, much better at home this season than they were last. Foul on Ahmad here. Than the guilty party.
Although he's complaining, he feels that it was that was bought a little by Ahmad.
An integral part of the Manchester United midfield again. It's only a matter of weeks since those 3 Kobbie Mainoo t-shirts made headlines. Reassimilated as a part of the United midfield, starting a 4th successive league game today. There he is in possession. Ball between the lines for Casemiro. Crucial that Romero got that away. Miss it from Bruno Fernandes. Spurs again electing to clear rather than let the ball run through for Vicario. Martinez, Burmo. Very neat and tidy under pressure. Here's Fernandes again. Casemiro can't resist. Vicario beats the effort away. Burmo beaten to it. And then Kobbie Mainoo was in with a fierce challenge. Casemiro with a decent strike.
I think he set a good example in this because Tottenham are back in numbers behind the ball. They're making it difficult to find any sort of space between defence and midfield. So why not take one on from distance?
Well, his future lies elsewhere now, but he's started his United swan song by really hitting the high notes. Performances under Michael Carrick have been excellent so far. Scored last weekend. As he marks his 100th Premier League appearance for the club, he's got more of an integral role now than he's had for a while. Manchester United with 3/4 of the ball in the opening 11 minutes, which is in stark contrast to some of their recent performances. In fact, in all 3 under Carrick, the opposition have had more of the ball than they have.
Kind of sums up what Thomas Frank likes to do, and it's basically nullify opposition strengths. Get behind the ball. In by
Simons. Gallagher making a good run. Just didn't get hold of it, which made Commons' job a lot easier.
Yeah, I mean, it's good movement on his part. He knows that the space is there. He can just get in behind Martinez, but difficult to try and get his foot strong enough behind the ball.
Judged by Vicario. Furious that the throw has gone against him.
The doggy just took a chance of hitting the floor then. Yeah, put a little bit deeper against Manchester City last week, Gallagher, and I think he's better when he's a little more advanced. He's got the mischief about him.
that's leading the charge now for Manchester United. By his international teammate Romero.
Formations don't win you games. You know, they play a part in it, but there's an awful lot more required.
Very strongly on Simon's play goes on. Worked wide by Gallagher. It's Gray that's made the advancing run. Wilson on the back. Now Polina able to let fly. So too good Sarr. I did dealing with both of those without the ball coming close to the goalkeeper. Ball from Van der Beek. Simons, who was excellent, particularly in the second half last week.
At Liverpool, you know, it's taken him time, but he ran the show. You're right.
It's played with a comfort and an ease that we haven't really seen too much of so far in a Tottenham shirt. A little bit of fluidity in his position as well as an inside forward. Looking from a doggy for Sarr. The man that digs that clear. Last season, looking around the ball his predecessor time, Thomas Frank has also benefited from Spurs' continental excursions. So don't seem numbered after those back-to-back defeats to Bournemouth and West Ham. Any decision about his long-term future is going to be a little bit more nuanced now. Last week playing a big part in that as well.
Mickey van der Ven is in the centre forward position. Romero is going to him now.
But then still lurking. So like he can turn it in his direction. He's got it wide for Gallagher instead. This is Simons. Shot in, but Dallo was right in front of him. Back from Sarr. In from the doggy. Solanke couldn't quite react. He's claiming that was because of a defensive intervention. VAR will have a look at the incident as United break with a Burmo. Some ball from Destiny Udogie though.
Yeah, I mean it's a real fizzer, isn't it? Across the 6-yard box. I mean for Tottenham it's just a shame that the centre forward actually went to ground, but I think Martinez played a part in that.
Certainly was Solanke's claim. Just a little bit more difficult by that nick off Maguire on the way through. Really intriguing opening quarter of an hour here at Old Trafford. Carrick had that brief spell as caretaker boss here back in 2021 between Solskjaer and Rangnick. He didn't lose any of the games that he had then either. The late Craig Shakespeare is the only English manager to have picked up more points in his first 5 Premier League matches than Carrick. That feat's all the more impressive when you consider this is the first match that his United have played in either spell against the team from outside the top 7. These 5 minutes have been completely dominated by Spurs.
Shaping like a game that's going to need patience and perseverance from both.
was able to turn. Gallagher has proved effective as between the front line and those behind him. Of Michael Carrick's reign have already seen United climb from 7th to 4th into the Champions League positions from outside of them. In terms of what they're going to need, well, 69 points has been enough for a top 5 finish in each of the last 6 seasons. So if they can win 9 of their last 14 matches, they can expect to have an outstanding chance of being back on the European football's top table next season.
Didn't think he'd get much chance to run, Mickey van de Ven, remembering last season here.
It's a wonderful, marauding run that really put him on the map. Still he goes. Swept towards goal and only just wide. Wonderful strike from Cunha. Just no pressure on the man in possession. No one watching the runner. Cunha very nearly exploited it.
What I love about Cunha is his unpredictability. You never quite know what he's going to try and do. And that was almost genius again. I mean, you know, whatever position you expect him to be in, he won't be there. He's somewhere else.
He's just got that element of unorthodoxy about him, which is wonderful to see. You know, when you least expect it. Scored that magnificent leg winner at Arsenal from behind the blue. Sometimes up here it's going to be a free kick to Manchester United back near the edge of their own penalty area. Trafford standing to applaud again the memory of the Busby Babes. Between Aman and Cunha, who gets another return ball and very nearly got Firmo in. Ray read that well. They're under all kinds of pressure, forced to go back. Vicario his life out a little bit easier. Just eases Solanke under the flight of the aerial pass, and United have got easy possession again.
I suspect for Solanke, life isn't going to get any easier. Back to Brentford, isn't it, with that 5-2-3 formation from Thomas Frank. Out of possession, of course.
Here's Ahmad. Swept towards goal for Bruno Fernandes. Vicario looking nervously over his left shoulder. We're able to see it go wide.
Well, just when a couple of Tottenham players kind of ran past him, I'm thinking he's just got too much space now. And then if he made a slightly better connection, I'm obviously stating the obvious here, then, you know, it's a different story. Ahmad was in a very good position to receive it too.
Spurs have struggled to contain Manchester United. A lot of the onside attempts coming, like that one, like the Cunha one previously. Players making movement into pockets of space that just aren't picked up.
I don't think I've ever seen a player side foot shots as good as we see from Cunha. I mean, it's almost as if he's like getting the laces through it, but he always just looks for placement. So it's with the side of the foot, you know, and yet he gets such great power.
He's scored in his last 2 games, 3 in his last 5. Saar, who's got Simons in close support, trying to work the angle and read the pass between the lines. Their last league win was at Palace between Christmas and New Year. They're one of 3 teams in the division yet to taste victory in a league game in 2026, along with Crystal Palace and Burnley. Of a relegation battle, 9 points clear of West Ham right now. The Hammers in action away to Burnley later. Spurs defeat will back down to 6. Certainly a nervy start to the final third of the season. And of course, there could be 12 points clear at the end of the day, and you would imagine that would probably just about be an unassailable gap. Discernible pressure on Lawrence. Skill from Nainu. United going forward again with Bruno Fernandes here. From Romero, second one cleared in. Ahmad having just the drop back and get back on side. Cunha down. Fernandes rivals one towards goal. Remember, Simons might have wished that he didn't keep that in, but Spurs can bring it away. Saar's foul. Cunha, the man that went down.
Yeah, there's that little bit of contact on his thigh from Saar. I don't think there's enough, you know. It's outside the box too.
Solanke up against Maguire.
Yeah, I mean, he's had to drop kind of a bit deeper just to get a bit of space to be able to get hold of the ball, Solanke, and bring someone else into play, but I think Maguire has been quite physical with him.
Trying to turn, and the doggy following him all the way across the pitch is going to get a yellow card for that.
I would have done exactly the same thing had I been playing. That he had to stop him because, you know, Ahmad is so quick. If he gets away from you, then, you know, he's got to run on goal.
Well, that was your position playing at left back, as Destiny Udogie is today. Is it inevitable that you have to follow your man in, even if he's come 50, 60 yards through? He can't find a way through inside the penalty area. Udogie right-hand side of the box again for a moment. Odebear under pressure.
There are times and phases of play where you have to stick with your man. Yes, absolutely. You see it an awful lot after a set piece. You know, when somebody's on completely the wrong side, like Udogie was on that occasion.
latest instalment of his battle with Solanke. Martinez. Romero under duress. Got it away. Gave it away. And it's a red.
He's caught Casemiro. Casemiro looks as if he's seriously hurt.
Sore one for Casemiro, and you can tell by Romero's reaction that he was on the scene straight away. No malice in that, but it's a poor challenge, and he knows that it could have done a lot of damage. He really had nowhere to go, and Romero's afternoon is done.
I mean, it looks even worse in slow motion to see the little bend in his ankle. Casemiro having been caught by Romero, and now Tottenham are going to have to get deeper and much more solid defensively. I mean, I would have thought Palhinha is going to be the one to drop in now, Jim.
Romero dismissed for the second time this season, having had his marching orders against Liverpool sent off now at Old Trafford. And Spurs, who laid a solid enough foundation in this game, got to play the last hour with 10 men. Significantly, Spurs will be without Romero for an hour here, but also for the next 4 league games. 3 for the red card for violent conduct, and the 4th game because it's his 2nd red card of the season. He'll miss Newcastle and Arsenal at home, the trip to Fulham, and then a game against Crystal Palace. And Radu Dragusin, so lightly raced over the last year because of injury, is getting ready to come on.
So who comes off? Is it Odegaard? Did they sacrifice him?
I think you'll be absolutely right, Jim. Long, lonely walk for Christian Romero. Hasty reshuffle in terms of Tottenham's game plan. Dragusin started last week. It was his first start for just over a year. He'd had that horrendous ACL injury. And confirmation that he will be replacing Wilson Odegaard. Game, yet another centre-half partnership for Spurs. Dragusin alongside Van der Ven. United looking to try and make an immediate impact with his numerical advantage. Mainly mistimed that. Back from Shaw, play's going to have to stop because of the head injury.
Yeah, it's Gallagher. Not too good for Shaw either.
The initial contact, and then a second one between Simons and Shaw that injured the Manchester United player. 2 players down in separate incidents. Casemiro seemingly is okay after the red card challenge from Romero.
I don't think anybody can argue against that. I mean, it's pretty blatant, and you know, right under the referee's nose.
It's been well documented just how difficult it's been for Thomas Frank to get a team out. Romero's comments about it last weekend did not go down well within the club. This public vilification of the decision makers that have left Spurs with only 11 fit players last week, in Romero's words. They are today without Maddison, Kulusevski, Danso, Davis, Bergvall, Bentancur, Kudus, Richarlison, Porro, Spence. It just goes on and on. Now, without Romero as well.
You correct me if I'm wrong, but the last 2 seasons as well, I mean, they've been riddled with injuries, Tottenham.
As Casemiro's ball in.
I remember being at Goodison last season, they were missing 10.
Although they pine for those heady days when they're only missing 10. Here's Cunha. Gallagher given permission to come back on, so Spurs at least restored to 10. Very nature of that dismissal suggests that it's going to develop as a rearguard action for Spurs here. That spell where they had nearly all of the ball and much of it in Manchester United territory, but it will be United who are dominating territory from here on in.
The 4-4-1 or 4-2-3 for Tottenham, depending with or without the ball. That was meant to be kind of all Brazilian then, wasn't it? Cunha trying to seek out Casemiro in the end.
Final 10 minutes of the first half, but it will be significantly elongated. Shaw. Trying to thread it through towards Ahmad, and it'll break Fernandez way. Well, the deflection spun it towards goal. Out of play for a corner.
And this is an absolutely crucial touch and block. Van de Ven, I think, has done his team a big favour, and even then it wasn't that far away.
The ball heading for the bottom right-hand corner, very neat, spun in towards the top left. United with the first corner of the day. Maguire very adept attacking this kind of situation, trying to get away from Conor Gallagher. It's worked in short, and it falls from Bergvall. Squeezes it into the forest of legs to give Manchester United the lead. The Reds' renaissance, gathering pace. Not a clean strike, but Vicario can't possibly have seen it till late. And a well-worked set piece gives United the lead.
I think everybody loves a bit of initiative on a set piece that catches the opposition, and it's clearly a training ground exercise that's been used again to the full. Ahmad, the little kind of short run. flick back. And Bemo, in fact, you know, you're right, Jim. He knocks it into the ground, and I think it's true that Vicario's not picked it up until a little too late. And no wonder he's applauding.
3 in 4 for Brian and Burmo under Michael Carrick. 6 in his last 6 against Spurs. They've got the deadlock in this fixture when the two sides met in North London earlier this season has given Manchester United a lead at roughly the same time in the game. And now a goal up and a man up. They'll be extremely disappointed if they don't make it 4 straight wins from here. Second ball, spraying wide for Ahmad without the quality. Manchester United are rampant.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's compounded from Tottenham, the sending off, then the goal concession, and it's just a kind of an open door at the moment for Manchester United to try and get a bigger advantage before the break.
Casemiro. From Burmo. Back in from him again, and good save from Vicario. The defensive flick caused all kinds of problems. And Vicario had to stick a hand up very swiftly to deal with Casemiro's effort.
Yeah, I mean, it came off Solanke's head to set him up, but great agility from Vicario. And Burmo, having kind of been too subtle on the corner, got it right with the cross.
They've gone short again. Ahmad trying to wriggle his way through past Xavi Simons. Doggy doubling up. There's the free kick on Sandro Martinez.
Of course, it's Kobe Mainu who made the little run, and yeah, I mean, perfected really on the training ground and brought into great use today.
I can see how much Michael Carrick enjoyed it. Ahmad's made a great run forward here. It's just a bit too hot for him. Doggy for Xavi Simons. Spurs sorting into Manchester United territory. They don't get too far. This is now one of those afternoons where you would imagine that they're going to have to make the most of any half chances that come their way, because there won't be that many of them, you wouldn't think.
Just like Simons then, I think you're going to have to look for it to be played earlier. Succession of corners now. 4 in the
the space of the last 5 minutes. Dangerous delivery. I think he did well to deal with.
Yeah, and just watch the Casemiro as well. He was committed to it, and so much so he ends up in the back of the net.
Taking the camera with him, we'll send him the bill. He's already equalled Ruben Amorim's best winning run in the Premier League. If they can hold on here, it'll be the first time United have had 4 successive league victories for almost exactly 2 years. Currently unbeaten in 7 league games since the defeat at Villa just before Christmas. Every other Premier League team has been beaten at least once in their last 5. Just building up ahead of steam now as a poor challenge. Simon's caught there by Ahmad.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't do too much damage, I think, but he is late. He's a late arrival.
The 5 added minutes at the end of this first half. Set-piece opportunities like that.
I agree, you took the words out of my mouth. I mean, it has to go into the box just before half-time as well. Might have been able to sneak one back.
Numerical advantage doesn't necessarily translate towards victory. Manchester United's more cynical supporters, when Romero was sent off, will have remembered the game against Everton here, where Gay was dismissed for his altercation with teammate Michael Keane. And United lost that game despite having been a man up for most of it. There's a game here against Chelsea earlier this season as well, where the visiting keeper Rob Sanchez was sent off inside the opening 5 minutes. Here's Ahmad. Goalkeeping by Vicario, where there was no margin for error. Great movement from the youngster again, coming in off the right flank.
Great understanding as well with the pass.
To win that from Van der Ven, but did so from an offside position. This is his run, Jim.
Yeah, Casemiro again. I'm surprised really that Udogie didn't try to catch him offside, at least attempt it. And that's a cracking right foot from Vicario. Very much needed.
Match here where Chelsea went down to 10 early on. Casemiro then subsequently got himself sent off. Simon's getting it into Solanke here. Gallagher waiting in support on the edge of the penalty area. The ball back to Solanke. He did really well to deal with that. Easy the longs. Solanke just outside the penalty area. There was no one there to attack it. Got a great record against blue chip opposition this season, Spurs. They've only beaten one of the sides that started this weekend in the top 7. It's a victory across town from here at Manchester City. touch. Gallagher. Dragoshin. Van de Ven at the heart of the Spurs defence after Romero's dismissal. Those two haven't started a game together for 15 months. In that, they played less than 15 minutes together because of an early Van de Ven injury. Showing a reluctance to try and launch one last attack before half-time with the 5 minutes up. Eric's men have already built a substantial platform as they look for a fourth successive win of his tenure. Brian Burma with the goal from a wonderfully worked set piece. And that came after Richard Romero was set off for a late challenge on Casemiro. So much work for Spurs to do as they try and come from behind to win a first game in 7 Premier League matches. Half-time, they're a goal down and a man down as well. It's Manchester United 1, Spurs 0.
Super kretek. Kreteknya super.
Mau voucher belanja 25 juta setiap bulan? Langganan Shopee VIP. Nikmati gratis ongkir instan tanpa batas. Diskon 20% setiap hari.
Jarum super kretek. Kreteknya super.
So let's see.
Mau voucher belanja 25 juta setiap bulan? Langganan Shopee VIP. Nikmati gratis ongkir instan tanpa batas. Diskon 20% setiap hari dan dapatkan gratis 3 bulan ChatGPT Go. Langganan Shopee VIP sekarang.
84 wins in a row.
Taste the coolest flavors. LA Ice.
True to life. Aquas X LED. A masterpiece of color and depth. X7 X Revolution AI processor. Ultra smooth gaming experience. Dolby Atmos and Dolby Vision IQ. Solar powered remote control. Smart living camera.
Jarum super kretek. Kreteknya super.
Internetan itu soal totalitas. Buat kamu yang selalu berkreasi, tenang. Ada support total tanpa henti. Bikin kamu tenang, tenang, menang. Pakai bisnis.
Jarum super kretek. Kreteknya super.
ちらの仕事しっかり見てな。
第一部隊出動だ。行くぜ。互いの頭脳が乗りつける。そこに全ての謎の源がある。飛べんぜ。俺らは超スピードの科学で敵をぶっちぎる。お前が答えるまでズタボロにやりよう。お前らは全滅だ。狙えたもんだな。
Keunggulan lebih dulu untuk sang tuan rumah Manchester United 1-0 bagi Tottenham Hotspur, dan tentunya dengan keadaan seperti ini memberikan tekanan lebih lagi bagi Thomas Frank sejauh ini.
Iya, sebetulnya laga berlangsung cukup imbang ya dengan keadaan 11 lawan 11, tapi kemudian kapten mereka yang sedang dalam keadaan yang tidak positif, banyak hal-hal aneh yang dia lakukan di luar lapangan. Harapannya reaksinya di atas lapangan berbeda. Tampil sebagai leader di laga seperti ini perannya sangat vital, tapi apa yang dia lakukan sangatlah konyol. Memang masih ada banyak yang memperdebatkan apakah tadi high challenge, dangerous challenge. Menurut saya iya, itu berpotensi ankle breaker. Kita lihat bagaimana challenge tersebut membuat Casemiro juga sempat tersungkur dan kartu merah sangat layak. Kemudian apa yang terjadi setelahnya? Manchester United menemukan bagaimana cara untuk bisa membongkar pertahanan dari Tottenham dan penampilan gemilang dari front four-nya. Kemudian juga betapa cairnya para pemain di lini kedua pun juga dengan zona pertahanan yang nyaman. Ketika keadaan ini sudah tercapai, puncaknya adalah tentunya peran dari Bruno Fernandes dan juga Kobe Mainoo memberikan kesempatan bagi Brian Mbeumo di bawah asuhan Michael Carrick. 4 laga 3 gol sudah dia cetak. Ini juga pemain yang setelah kembali dari AFCON formnya begitu luar biasa sensasional.
Ya, kita lihat kembali pemirsa bagaimana proses momen-momen yang terjadi dan juga gol yang terjadi di 45 menit di babak yang pertama. Kita lihat pergerakan dari Manchester United, lagi-lagi para pemain yang sangat cepat berinisiatif di menit-menit awal, Adi. Ya, di awal ada Brian Mbeumo dan kemudian Casemiro yang menguji kejelian dari gawang Vicario untuk bisa bereaksi terhadap sepakan jarak jauh dari Casemiro. Kembali pemain yang sedang dalam form yang luar biasa bagi Manchester United. Ada respons dari Spurs dengan coba untuk bisa mencetak peluang. Ini adalah half chance yang didapat di mulut gawang. Sayang tadi sepakannya masih belum mampu melewati hadangan dari Lamens. Betul, sayangnya juga peluang yang didapatkan oleh Spurs di babak pertama tidak banyak ya. Hanya ada beberapa kesempatan dari Spurs sendiri. Seperti kali ini Udogie yang coba berkreasi, ini bola yang sangat indah tapi sayang tidak mampu diselesaikan oleh Dom Solanke juga yang tidak dalam kondisi optimal tadi untuk bisa melepaskan effort menuju ke gawang. Ya, sementara kita lihat pergerakan dari arah kanan dari Manchester United. Kembali ya, Vicario yang menepis memberikan save bagi timnya. Mungkin kredit juga bagi kiper ini, kalau bukan karena beberapa save-nya mungkin bisa lebih dari 1 gol bagi MU. Effort yang kembali impresif dari Matheus Cunha. Ahmad juga tampil penuh percaya diri, dan ini adalah satu upaya dari Bruno Fernandes yang mungkin mirip dengan upaya dari Florian Wirtz di pekan lalu ya untuk Liverpool. Untuk Wirtz gol kali ini Bruno Fernandes tadi tidak dalam aksi finishing terbaiknya. Ini dia shocking challenge dari Cuti Romero. Sejak dia melakukan debutnya dengan Tottenham di 2021, Cuti Romero sudah dapatkan kartu merah di 6 kesempatan bagi Tottenham di beberapa kompetisi berbeda, dan ini kembali satu finishing yang luar biasa dari Mbeumo untuk memberikan keunggulan bagi Manchester United tanpa adanya reaksi yang tepat tadi. Papsar juga terlambat untuk bisa menutup kesempatan bagi Mbeumo mencetak lagi gol bagi Manchester United, dan ini kembali peluang yang didapat oleh Casemiro tapi masih mampu Vicario menyelamatkan gawang Tottenham. Ya, situasi dari set piece juga tadi ya yang bisa memberikan satu keunggulan sementara bagi sang tuan rumah Manchester United. Sementara kita harus lihat juga bagaimana statistik yang terjadi, possession 58 berbanding 42. Kalau kita lihat sebetulnya memang masih dimiliki oleh MU di babak pertama tadi. Iya, ada kenyamanan bermain, ada possession yang lebih unggul dengan shots on target ada 3 dari 10 attempts. Kembali begitu banyak kesempatan ketika United coba menekan dan bisa melepaskan effort menuju ke gawang dari Vicario, tapi sayangnya outcome-nya masih hanya 1 gol saja yang berserang ke gawang Tottenham. Sekarang bagi Tottenham, bagaimana caranya untuk melimitasi kerusakan yang terjadi berkat ulah dari kapten mereka, dan bagaimana tekanan demi tekanan begitu mudah dicetak oleh United
United di pertahanan dari Tottenham. Oleh karenanya, para gelandang harus bekerja lebih keras untuk bisa mengcover apa yang terjadi di zona pertahanan dengan rapuhnya backline dari Tottenham di babak pertama.
Iya, bagi Thomas Frank sendiri harus bisa memutar otak dengan adanya lubang ya yang saat ini menganga tertentu untuk di babak yang kedua nanti dengan celah yang harus bisa ditutupi untuk memasuki pertandingan babak yang kedua. Tapi sebelum itu pemirsa, kita juga akan melihat seperti apa gol analisis yang terjadi di 45 menit. Babak yang pertama tadi setelah beberapa kali percobaan, Adi ya.
Iya, beberapa kali upaya para pemain Manchester United, dan ini dari jarak jauh. Bruno Fernandes tadi mengambil inisiatif untuk menembak. Ada hadangan yang berujung tendangan penjuru, dan ini adalah rutin yang dilatih dengan detail ya di lapangan latihan. Bagaimana setup tadi sangat indah. Bruno Fernandes berikan kepada Kobbie Mainoo dan kemudian melibatkan Mbeumo di space yang begitu menganga. Ini sempat dikatakan oleh Ruben Amorim bahwa Kobbie Mainoo tidak bisa bermain bersama Bruno Fernandes di tim Manchester United. Tapi apa yang kita saksikan dari set play ini membuktikan hal yang berbeda. Dan kita lihat bagaimana bola tadi dengan weight yang sangat tepat diberikan kepada Bryan Mbeumo yang mampu untuk bisa memberikan keunggulan untuk sementara ini. Hanya tipis saja, 1 gol keunggulan United atas Spurs.
Ya, 38 menit akhirnya bisa memberikan 1 keunggulan bagi sang tim tuan rumah, dan kita juga akan langsung melihat seperti apa momen yang terjadi proses dari kartu merah yang didapatkan oleh sang kapten dari Tottenham HOTSPUR, yang jelas ini menjadi kerugian besar bagi skuad dari Thomas Frank.
Iya, malapetaka, dan terlihat jelas Thomas Frank begitu kecewa, padahal dia masih percaya kepada Couto Romero walaupun dengan berbagai posting yang dia lakukan di beberapa hari terakhir ini. Dan Michael Oliver langsung memberikan kartu merah untuk Couto Romero. Ini adalah keadaan yang tidak nyaman, dan Couto Romero adalah pemain Argentina yang melakukan foul kepada pemain Brazil sudah sangat lama, yang merujuk kartu merah terakhir 2016 kalau kita ingat. Saat itu Kun Aguero yang melakukan challenge ya kepada David Luiz dan kemudian mendapatkan kartu merah. Dan ini kembali satu situasi di mana di Premier League sudah ada 4 laga di mana Couto Romero diusir dengan kartu merah, dan masalahnya lagi bagi Tottenham dengan jumlah laga yang sangat tipis bagi mereka di bulan ini, maka Couto Romero akan menghilang dengan 4 match ban-nya, akan berlaga lagi di bulan Maret baru kalau bertemu dengan Liverpool. Jadi ada durasi yang sangat panjang, akan kehilangan kapten mereka, dan ini akan ada tentunya efek yang cukup buruk bagi Tottenham Hotspur.
Iya, di masa yang kita tahu bahwa ini adalah fase-fase cukup krusial juga ya, dengan beberapa pertandingan ke depan yang harus kehilangan kapten mereka. Pemirsa, kita juga akan membahas tentunya seperti apa kesiapan untuk memasuki babak yang kedua nanti. Untuk itu tetaplah bersama kami akan segera kembali.
Bapak nikah lagi.
Voucher belanja 25 juta setiap bulan, langganan Shopee VIP. Nikmati gratis ongkir instan tanpa batas, diskon 20% setiap hari, dan dapatkan gratis 3 bulan ChatGPT Go. Langganan Shopee VIP sekarang.
Gimana ya caranya mempertahankan toko ini?
Ya kalau Dek Murni sama Mas belum punya anak, siapa yang mau percaya?
Mau pesen apa? Gak usah pesan sama Murni. Orang dia gak bagus sama sekali. Gersang. Opo sing domongke wong-wong kuwi. Ojo dilebok kene nanti. Ya, Mbak ya?
Dek Murni, kita usaha lagi kunyit.
Ibu dikeroi dilit nggak?
Bapak nikah lagi.
Pak, ibu kita harusnya ibu-ibu. Kita cari tahu dia cewek baik-baik apa enggak. Gua kan main judi buat bayar pinjol, Gen. Pinjol juga gara-gara judol. Itu namanya roda ekonomi kreatif yang berputar.
What do you mean?
Please, Scooby-Doo this crap. No matter how fast you are, no one outruns their past.
It's tragic, but now it's finished.
Fuck.
happen.
Jarum super kretek. Kreteknya super.
Ya pemirsa, kita sudah kembali lagi ke Old Trafford Stadium, persiapan untuk memasuki pertandingan di babak yang kedua. Babak kedua jelas bukan hal yang mudah bagi Spurs. Situasi tertinggal dengan 10 pemain. Pilihannya bagi Thomas Frank apa nih?
Kita akan menuju ke Old Trafford untuk interview di lapangan dengan
mereka. Sebentar ya.
Johnny's had his eye on set plays, Johnny Evans and Kainer, the analysts. So it's great when things come off. We obviously all got different ideas, but the lads have carried off great, and Bruno, Cobby, and Brian put it away. So yeah, delighted with that.
How does Tottenham's red card change your approach to this second half?
It doesn't really. It can't. Mentally, we got to treat it exactly the same, and that's the biggest challenge against 10 men. That make sure mentally that you treat it like it's the same game and keep the intensity, keep the quality. So hopefully we can do well second half.
I'm just sat right by the dugout, and I heard Steve Holland just reminding Ahmad to be careful. You don't want to give the referee any reason to level things up.
No, listen, he's not going to do it deliberately, but I think you just got to manage the game and be sensible in the game, and but certainly got to keep that intensity and the energy in the performance.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot. Cheers.
Ya, mungkin tidak akan ada approach yang terlalu berbeda bagi MU, tapi bagi Spurs mereka harus lebih berhati-hati.
Iya, kehilangan Coutinho Romero menjadi kendala, dan bagi Manchester United mereka terus menekan dengan tempo yang terjaga, dan tentunya pergerakan in behind akan menjadi kendala juga bagi Tottenham dengan aksi-aksi luar biasa yang ditawarkan oleh Ahmad dan juga oleh Brian Mbeumo. Babak kedua harus berhati-hati Tottenham agar tidak berpotensi skor lainnya mencolok ya dengan keunggulan Manchester United.
Baik, inilah dia babak yang kedua, Manchester United versus Tottenham Hotspur. Selamat menyaksikan.
50s for the last time Spurs didn't lose here in 3 successive seasons. Got a lot of work to do to make it 3 unbeaten at Old Trafford now. Finding themselves a goal down, more significantly, a man down. How will they be able to launch a fight back? So much better in the second half against Mancunian opposition last week than they were in the first. The situation they find themselves in now, how do they muster that same style of recovery? Casemiro bringing the ball forward. Ahmad bring it down towards Bruno Fernandes. It's Destiny Udogie that clears for Spurs.
I mean, again, Siemens should have got hold of that. He's made it too easy for United to get it back.
Casemiro. Coming forward, facing Casemiro to deal with the pass hastily. Ahmad. Dangerous there. Martinez. You're alive to that possibility. Martinez recovering his own ground pretty quickly.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the story in the second half for Tottenham. Back at you.
Battling with Burmo, Polina, Gallagher, getting it away from the advancing Cunha. Then wide for Xavi Simons. Into Manchester United territory, Dallo doing his best to start getting too far. Michael Oliver found in his favour.
Diallo. I'm sure he's enjoying the fact that he's back in his favourite right back spot as well.
It's a fixture that's been dominated by Spurs in recent times. They haven't lost any of their last 8 against United, one which includes their biggest ever meeting in Bilbao last May. Last time United came out on top back in 2022 when Fred and Bruno Fernandes scored the goals. Here's a Burmo. Bruno Fernandes, Luke Shaw coming round the back. The offside flag's up. Ahmad's celebrations very short-lived, but it looked pretty tight.
Was it going in? Yeah, I mean, he does look as if he's probably just about straight then. Don't think it was going in.
Luke Shaw's 3 Premier League goals was more than 3 years ago. Interesting to see exactly what would have happened had Ahmad not just helped that over the line. Turning straight into Gallagher, doing well to win it back. Shaw. Cunha. Just towards Casemiro. Skillful bounce in front of Vicario, but he gathered it in safely enough.
I think it was another one that hasn't been struck cleanly. It's into the ground. That's why you see the bounce ahead of Vicario.
Getting the ball away. New call. All of a sudden Spurs can't get body sport. Simons. We're back. Every Manchester United player is back behind the ball again. Sarr. It's Archie Gray.
To remain that way for Manchester United by applying pressure at every opportunity.
Fernandes didn't have to move a muscle in receiving the ball and then dispensing it back to Menu. Diallo. We'll get into that first. They're missing Gallagher from close range. Casemiro winning it back for Fellaini, and then Gallagher himself can calm things down. Drilling the ball towards Xavi Simons. Straight out of play for a throw.
He's got a problem.
But it pours for Thomas Frank.
Just what Tottenham need, another injury, yeah?
They do have a left-back bench, Sousa, who they paid £13 million to Santos in his native Brazil. An awful lot of first-team experience, less than 3 dozen games for Santos, but he may well be the man that they would bring on to replace the doggy if he can't continue. No Spence at the moment to be able to introduce. time today. Let's have a look and see how Michael Oliver saw the Manchester United goal. Francemen conceding just 9 minutes after going a man down. Manchester United haven't blown a lead against 10-man opposition since back in 2017. It was Harry Maguire who scored the equaliser for Leicester against them that day. All the indications are that the doggies are not going to be able to continue here. The list of absences already in double figures continues to grow, and it will be Sosa who will be introduced for his Premier League debut. Circumstances for the 19-year-old to be brought on for his debut. Doggy, the second member of the starting back four to make his way prematurely back down the tunnel, but for a very different reason, obviously, to Romero. Van der Ven and Sosa, back four that certainly haven't played together before.
Right now, you want to get the ball, let him run it, Sosa.
See at the top of your picture, his starting position is to defend quite narrow, allowing Ahmad that little bit of width. They're putting his foot in. Martinez has it now. Turned around the corner by Cunha, wanted it back straight away. Ahmad laying it off. Bruno trying his luck. And it's cleared. Shade out towards Gallagher, who's then fouled. Another Spurs player down injured.
I mean, this is just lovely one-touch football for the most part. And I suppose it's a little bit of a shame that Manchester United didn't get one away. Again, it's Van der Ven blocking Fernandes.
Curious ball back across the edge of his own penalty area. The falls for Simons. Not too far away. United give things.
Well, Sean knows that makes the wrong decision. Wouldn't have hit that much better. Simons. Rollins at full stretch. I'm relieved to see it fly past the post.
He's got 11 goals for Leipzig last season, only one in the Premier League so far for Spurs, which came under Brentford. Quarters of the possession in this second half. Overall, the attempts in the game, they've had twice as many as Spurs. We've only mustered the one on target so far. Difficult with the little ball that they're having to really create too many opportunities at the moment, but things might be their best avenue back into the game. Given another one of those right here.
This has all got to be encouragement for the visitors. I think he more or less bought that one, Simons. Set piece in front of the scoreboard end, the most important moment of
the game so far. Spurs hoping to be able to replicate it with one of their own here. Swung back, Sarr getting his head to that. Solanke keeping it alive. He's a goalkeeper that commands his penalty area well. Fernandes. And they're letting it run. Part of the challenge from Dragashin. Sosa out with that, okay. Then gets it away. Back from Maguire. Martinez. Shaw coming forward. One-sided goal already. Test Vicario this time. It's another corner.
Yeah, I mean, for a moment I thought he was going to look for Cunha to his left, Luke Shaw, but I think in the circumstances you've got to come onto that and just have a go. And it's a good hit. A good hit with a TV save.
First quarter of the second half goes Manchester United's way. They've had the monopoly on them this afternoon. An hour gone. Maguire lurking with intent by the penalty spot, making a run towards the far post. As he wrestled to the ground, referee had a good view, said no. Shaw lets that run for Dallo. Now Mbeumo. Here's Dallo again.
Vicario must feel he's back in Monaco. I think that's his best performance of the season so far, and he's now being pelted.
Yeah, it's busier than he'd like to be. Free kick is given, but should United have had a penalty? They thought so.
I mean, if you did that anywhere else in the pitch, what are you expecting? A free kick, aren't you? Not as well dealt with.
Certainly chancy defending from Mickey van der Ven, no doubt about that.
There's a clear move for him to just swing the arm around him and try and tug him back.
Now not looking at the ball.
Yeah.
Hernandez with a deep free kick. Back into the fray. Shaw trying his luck again. Big appeals to the hidden arm.
It's on the cusp, isn't it? A second goal for Manchester United. Might not work out that way, but right now, it is on the edge.
Well, they're desperate for that little bit of insurance. Had their fingers burnt before. At the moment, it feels as though it might only be a matter of time. Luke Shaw has only scored 3 Premier League goals in his career. We've had 3 decent shots in the last 6 or 7 minutes. Martinez. I suppose they've got to hang in there. Stuck against the ropes for a moment. Winning it cleanly from Casemiro.
That's what Palhinha is extremely good at.
Had to make sure that he got that right as he stepped away from Simons. Bruno Fernandes checking before delivering. Well played by Vicario. Casemiro was trying to make life difficult along with Mbeumo.
Bruno, you show off. You complete and utter show off.
wonderful improvisation. The flighted Rabona cross.
I'd pull a hamstring if I tried that.
Oh, a hamstring just thinking about it. Well, since Amarim's departure, he's been back in his preferred role. He's had at least one assist in every game, which is his longest ever streak of assists. It's the handball shout as the shade up and hit Van der Ven.
Yeah, I really like the fact that he got over it. He wanted to keep it down and not sky it.
And Cunha is fouled.
Hard to argue against the referee's decision then. Stratford end is in suck mode.
And everything it can to draw a second goal out of Manchester United here. And with pace from Fernandes, just hoping that it took a potent touch along the way.
Yeah, Manchester United trying to find the way through the yellow brick wall.
Wizardry will provide that. Here's Mainu. Defence clearance hitting Sarr, going out of play for a Manchester United throw. Still camped in Tottenham territory, still unable to find the second goal. The Spurs can hang in here at 0-1. Well, they might believe they can nick something at the other end.
Is it true that they haven't had a penalty awarded to them this season, Jim?
It's absolutely true. In the Premier League.
Yeah. I mean, I think they'll be hoping for an opportunity to at least have that.
Cynical Spurs fans are just shouting at you, Jim, that they've got to get in the area before they're going to have the opportunity for that.
There is that.
Shaw, Cunha pulling it back, and Burmo. It's going wide anyway.
Yeah, again, just lovely movement from Cunha. Made it easy for Shaw. And it was Sarr first and Burmo second.
Restarting play quickly after the foul was given Tottenham's way.
And Spurs still in it.
Half an hour now since they went behind. No further damage has been inflicted. So much late drama when the two sides met earlier this season. Remember, Manchester United led 1-0 going into the final 6 minutes of that, and it ended up 2-2.
Delict.
Spurs goals, they turned that 1-0 deficit into a 2-1 lead. That's a poor clearance from Vicario. Fernandes helping it on, flags up though. Cunha will put it in, it will be checked. The flag long since.
I think it's this moment that Bruno doesn't manage to get back onside, and once it's played straight back, he is in offside position. And again, nice to see the assistant with the flag up very quickly. No doubt about that.
Nick Greenhill absolutely certain what he saw. Raised the flag immediately.
Solanke's moved to the right, and I think that's where Vicario is going to launch it.
He's the target. Shaw that headed it away. Saar winning the seconds. Simmons kites it back for Van der Ven. Gray told to turn as he receives it. Couldn't find a way round Cunha to get on the return ball, and then Gallagher fouls Maynard. Just in the discussion there with John Keitinger and Justin Cochran, how they might be able to influence proceedings, get their side back into the game. Have to keep defending as resolutely as they have been, and that's the bare minimum. Impressive this from Sosa. Too far away from finding Solanke. Spurs fans appreciating his efforts. Polina in strongly. Yellow card is shown.
Yeah, I mean, it just looks as if the referee thinks he's a little over-aggressive here, but, you know, when he does make the challenge, having won it from Casemiro, it's almost as if, you know, he can't help the follow-through. I think a yellow card is harsh on that one. There's no malice about that at all.
It's a 10th yellow card of the season for João Polina in League and Cup. And then a yellow card seemed to be brandished by Michael Oliver in the direction of the Spurs bench as well. Amat. Got away from Sosa, he's got three to try and aim at in the centre. Sosa back to recover, Vicario did the rest at the near post.
Yeah, I mean, he commits himself on that occasion, Sosa, and allows Ahmad to get in behind. Kept on trying, so Vicario just had to get something behind it in the end.
Clearance hitting Van der Ven, out of play for Manchester United's sixth corner. With a fair bit of in-swing guarantee from Brian Mbeumo. He's trying to tee it up to the edge of the penalty area instead for Fernandes. Back from Dallo. Shaw. Space for Bruno Fernandes. Time for him to measure the delivery inside the penalty area, but it was routine one for Sada. Clear and then a poor touch from Martinez. Conor Gallagher first to that. Now Simons. Solanke makes his way forward. Sarr coming on the left-hand side of the top of your picture. Samiro back to cover. Stops the counter-attack in its infancy. It's the kind of chance they're going to have to make the most of, Spurs, to find a way back into this game. Sandro Martinez almost gifting them the chance.
Yeah. Well, they didn't take the opportunity to get ball into the box then. Now they will with the throw-in.
That's right, they missed Kevin Danso. Van der Ven making his way forward, standing not too far in front of Seno Lommers. Decent delivery as well from Dragusin. Martinez to scramble it clear. Nice ball out. Back in from Simons. Polina still forward. It's cleared him and Shaw. Nasty one for Polina. It's a real steep run off the playing surface here. There's absolutely no way he could avoid that collision with the steward. He's back on his feet straight away. Fernandes. Casemiro. Tried to do there, just mindful of Burmo to his right. Couldn't flick it into his path. Mainu has it. Spurs just backing off. Casemiro. A little backy or flick, but too much on it.
Yeah. Again, lovely imagination. Not once, but twice.
It's a Manchester United team who are playing with freedom now. The shackles off. Here comes Van der Ven. Trying to repeat history. There was no way Manchester United were going to let that happen. This is what he is all about. United will make a change. Cunha off. And Benjamin Šeško, who scored the winner against Fulham in stoppage time last weekend, is going to come on to replace him. So Cunha off and Šeško on. 4 goals in his last 4 games. 6 now in a Manchester United shirt.
Yeah, he's still playing catch up, but I saw him grab a couple at Burnley.
Simmons. Martinez heads away. Here's the break. How quick Sosa? Quick enough. Simmons putting his foot through that. The bench still retreating, trying to flick it on. Raised touch, well dealt with by Simmons. Beautiful turn, keeping possession. Multiple options to his left. Sarr and Sosa. It's Sarr again. Right, trying to watch that out. Ended up getting nutmegged as Simmons went down. United get it away. And Fernandes leads the latest counter-attack. Šeško with a gallivanting run through the middle. Can Bruno Fernandes find him? Dragasine made sure that didn't happen. Brian and Burmo able to find space. And then Shaw. Shaw. Taking a touch, pulling it back. Sarr across the cover. Still Manchester United's lead, just the one. Spurs about to make a triple change. Basuma, Patel and Kolomoani all about to be introduced. They're the only remaining senior outfield players on the bench. With this latest corner, too low and flat. Back by Dallo, beautifully as well. He's found a yard of space. Found Ahmad. Millions of discontenders. United forced to go back. Shaw. Well struck. Relatively comfortable save for Vicario, whose first thought is to get Spurs on the front foot quickly. Bowling it out here for Gray.
Yeah, I think Tottenham have shown very good resilience in this second half. They really have defended solidly together. And Manchester United just keep on adding to the shots on target.
Increasing on a regular basis for Manchester United. Spurs, as you say, still hanging in there, still with a puncher's chance of being able to take a positive result out of this fixture if something can drop their way. Coming together there off the ball between Shaw and Sosa. Now Portini, the VAR, will just have a look and see what happened.
It's difficult to see what kind of arm movement Shaw, the angle we were just given. Yeah, I mean, he's gone down holding his face. I'm not sure that Shaw was that high.
So Polina, Solanke and Gallagher are the players coming off here for Spurs. Basuma, Tell and Kolomouani on to replace them for the final 10 minutes. Because of the tactical change that they had to make after the red card and then the injury to Doggy, Spurs in a position that they had to make all three remaining changes now, or certainly in one go.
Yeah, it's his gamble on trying to get, an equaliser. It probably weakens them now defensively.
Was Bruno Fernandes steered in for number 2, and that surely makes the game safe. Bruno with the knockout blow. Hard to see a second fight back against Mancunian opposition in a week for Spurs now.
It's an absolute killer blow for Thomas Frank. He's just made his substitutions, and then Manchester United get that long-awaited second. What a great ball in from Darrow. Now, if there's a little touch here from Šeško, then maybe Fernandes is offside, but it doesn't look like it. And he's just allowed it to hit him on the shin. The keeper, of course, is going to his right, trying to recover to his left-hand side. It always becomes that bit harder. Bruno's got a second. And it looks like Michael Carrick is getting another win.
The 200th goal that Bruno Fernandes has played a part in for United. Scored 104 himself, he's assisted the other 96. It's some record in a little over 300 games. And this one that has surely wrapped it up. A fixture which we set off last season. He's making happier headlines today. And Gray's lost out in a dangerous area. Fernandes for Mbermo. Threaded in towards Šeško, might still get that. Clearance from Sarr. United with their foot on the throat of Spurs now.
Like I said in my preview, I need 3 votes.
once again.
Could have taken that on, could have been a little more selfish.
Going behind square and only found Matty's tail. Strength and end celebration that tinged with more than a modicum of relief, I think, for Manchester United. It'll be a fourth win in a row. Most inevitably, this man has had a major part to play. He's made a part yet. It's a man of possession. Will extend United's unbeaten streak to 8. That's twice as long as any other Premier League club's current run. So the first time United will have gone 8 without defeat in the Premier League for 4 years. Ralph Rangnick was in charge. The transformation has been as remarkable as it has been instant.
Well, you mentioned Ralph Rangnick. These times are a little bit better than when he was involved.
Almost languidly clipping one over the top of the run of Kobbie Mainoo, who survives the slight slip. Casemiro trying to work it into the path of Shaw. Moani taking it on and losing out to Casemiro. Mainoo delivers. It's Mbamo.
Just judging from his reaction, he probably feels too it should have been 3.
There's a swagger about Manchester United now that just hasn't been here at Old Trafford for a good couple of years. Playing with smiles on their faces. Outturn in terms of fortune. This will consolidate Manchester United's 4th place in the Premier League. Champions League football, a real possibility with a third of the season remaining. Triple change about to be made. Luke Shaw gets a good ovation. Another excellent performance from him at left. Mazraoui will come on to replace him. Casemiro leaving the field as well. Applause ringing in his ears. And goal scorer Brian Mbeumo. And they've got things going for Manchester United, replaced by Joshua Zirkzee.
Is turning. The doubt has turned to devilment.
Might be too early to say that Manchester United are on their way back. It certainly feels as though the momentum that's building now promises good times ahead again. Mazraoui taking it on. Trying to play the pass at the most opportune moment. It's put by Gray off Mazraoui out for a goal kick.
Yeah, just clipped him. But you know, just going back to Bruno's goal, so many players, you know, would have just tried to hit that after it bounced, and of course it would have gone very, very high. Really clever on his part to actually just let it hit him and just see what happens from there.
Zirkzee. Garte. Rivers away from Šeško. Simons. Unable to exert the influence today that he did last week. The circumstances of it with Romero's red card, is this a display that puts any further pressure on Thomas Frank?
No, I don't think so, because I think that the red card was extremely important in the way things mapped out. I mean, all games come in different shapes and sizes, but I think that red card had a huge bearing on proceedings. I don't think it puts him under any more pressure.
Nice ball from Fernandes. Fashion ball for Mazraoui. Ball to the ground by Gray. Only with a clever touch. Bruno Fernandes takes over. Ahmad. Back from Dalot. Zirkzee recycling it back for Ugarte. Contact. Mazraoui was looked at inside the penalty area. As the ball comes back to Bruno Fernandes, he gets it all wrong that time. A mistake on an excellent afternoon.
Come on, Bruno. That's not right. I mean, you expect that from a bouncing ball.
And still time at the end of the game for a nice moment for Manchester United as Tyler Fletcher comes on for his Premier League debut. His twin brother Jack, having made his bow against Villa earlier this season, just before Christmas. Now Tyler get the opportunity to represent Manchester United as his brother and father have done before him.
Yeah, and he has the Scottish leaning.
Yep, twin boys. One place for England, one place for Scotland at youth level. Tyler, an under-19 international. They have played up against each other internationally. Tyler taking his father's nationality. It's a nice first contribution from him. Ball by Ahmad. Zirkzee. Way back to clear. It's Fletcher again. Are out.
Did you ever hear this under Amorim?
Never saw a full successive win under Ruben Amorim. Spurs frustrated with hearing that chorus of Ole. Takes matters into his own hands and foul.
audience that's had very little to do. I'm sure he'd like it to be like that every week.
It's a free kick. It's in the territory now where Spurs are just seeking a consolation. United looking to add a little bit of finesse and gloss right at the end of the game. Clipped in by Fernandez. And Chesto's put it straight at the goalkeeper.
He had an acre of space and all the time in the world.
Well, he is the man who can do no wrong. And a wave of Magic Mike's wand has inspired a remarkable transformation here at Old Trafford. This a day where Spurs' impetuosity led to near impossibility. The red card shown to Gucci Romero, making their job extremely hard. And Burmo and Fernandez scored late in each half. And if United aren't back yet, they certainly feel as though they're on their way. It's finished Manchester United 2, Spurs 0.
Tambahan gol dari Bruno Fernandes mengunci kemenangan 4 beruntun bagi Manchester United di bawah asuhan dari Michael Carrick, dan tidak sejak Februari 2022 ada rekor luar biasa dari United dengan Rafa Ranieri yang mampu mencetak 8 kemenangan berturut-turut. Sebelumnya ada Ten Hag yang juga sudah mampu dengan rekor yang sama, 4 kemenangan berturut-turut disamakan oleh Michael Carrick di 4 pertandingan pertamanya bagi Manchester United. Kemenangan luar biasa diraih United atas Tottenham HOTSPUR.
Belanja 25 juta setiap bulan, langganan Shopee VIP. Nikmati gratis kir instan tanpa batas, diskon 20% setiap hari, dan dapatkan gratis 3 bulan ChatGPT Go. Langganan Shopee VIP sekarang.